Middle-aged lady demanded seat while 90% was still free. A woman started arguing with me over a ferry bench, even though almost every other seat in the terminal was completely empty. A few hours ago, my family and I arrived early for a ferry because we had to rely on the bus schedule. We got there almost 2 hours before boarding, so the waiting area was basically empty. There were around 20 benches, and maybe only 1 or 2 were occupied. Since we were among the first people there, we picked a bench close to the ferry gates. My family decided to walk around and explore the area for a bit, while I stayed behind watching all of our luggage for 6 people. A few minutes later, a group of 4 people walked in, including an elderly man and the woman from this story. The woman immediately came up to me and asked if I was sitting there alone. I explained that my family was walking around, but yes, for the moment, I was the only one sitting there. That's when she demanded I move my luggage and switch benches because the elderly man needed my seat. Now, honestly, if there hadn't been any other seating available, I would have moved immediately without any problem. But that wasn't the case at all. Almost every other bench in the terminal was still completely empty. On top of that, the elderly man had a rollator he could also sit on if needed. So it was pretty obvious they specifically wanted my bench because it was closest to the ferry gates. She kept insisting her father needed to sit there. And after a short argument, I finally moved some luggage so the elderly man could sit down. But I didn't move to another bench. And I definitely didn't clear enough space for the entire group to sit there too. At that point, I was already annoyed by the entitlement. Instead of sitting on one of the many empty benches nearby, the woman and the other 2 people just stood directly in front of me, occasionally staring at me while waiting. Meanwhile, the ferry gates weren't even opening for another hour and a half. Eventually, my family came back and sat down with me, and the woman still kept glancing over at us like we had done something wrong. But here's the funniest part. About 20 minutes before boarding started, the entire group suddenly got up and moved directly in front of the ferry gate anyway. And the elderly man? He sat down perfectly fine on his rollator. So after all that arguing and attitude, they still abandoned the bench completely, which honestly made me wonder why bothering me was ever necessary in the first place. And just to be clear, I have absolutely no issue with elderly people needing a seat. My issue was entirely with the woman acting entitled when there were plenty of other empty places available the entire time. Comments your thoughts below. Please like, share, and subscribe for more stories.